How's it going? Today I'm going to do a video on a diesel air heater that I made in a ruggedized case using a Pelican 1610 case. You can see on the top I've got a exhaust port. This is a hot air exhaust, and then I've also got some DC fans that I put in to help ventilate the case. And then this is your power plug for running the remote control unit, if you want to do that. I just bought some fittings that will just clamp on there, so you can set this thing outside and you can leave it outside for a pretty long time and not have to worry about the elements getting inside of it. Next I'll show you the other side, so bear with me here while I switch that around. Alright, so now I got the case tilted on its side. So this is the side we were just looking at. This is where your hot air is going to come out for heating. On this side over here, this is where your cold air intake for your clean air is going to come in. So that air is going to get warmed up, run through the heater inside, and then go out. Got a 12 volt input plug. You can run this off from a car DC outlet. You can run it off from like a solar inverter. You can run it off, anything 12 volt basically. And that's weatherproof. And then I've also got an AC input if you want to run that off from standard AC input as well. Down on this side, I've got a DC fan that's going to bring in cool air into the inside of the case, and it will exhaust out of the other fan on the other side. We'll take a closer look at that later. And then also we've got our combustion air intake here. Next we're going to look at the inside of the case. So I've got the case designed for everything to fit inside of it. So you just open it up. You can see we've got the hose assembly for the hot air. I've got an extension hose as well. And then I've got the exhaust pipe fits in there. This is my cable for extending out the remote control. Here's your remote control unit. I think I got like 25 feet of cable here. I got these connectors right here off from Amazon, and they're pretty weatherproof. So get that set off to the side. In here I've got a carbon monoxide detector. I think that's important to have whenever you're going to run one of these. Here's my 12 volt DC cable that I built, and I have adapter ends that you can put on that to adapt to whatever you want. So this is just going to get you 25 feet out from the box and plug into whatever DC power supply you need. So for instance, I have this little adapter cable I made, and this gets you to like a 12 volt solar inverter, like a Blue Eddy or something like that, Jackery, whatever. This gets you into a normal car DC outlet. And then here is an air intake filter for the combustion chamber. Inside of here you can see I've got your standard Chinese diesel heater. Air intake comes in, and then your hot air is going to come out. You can see where I wired the connection for the remote control. And then here's the fan that I made, fan assembly that I made to exhaust. Everything's got some armor on it to protect it. You can see the other air input fan. And then here is my air intake hose right there. I built this chamber right here to help insulate the rest of the equipment from the heat of the exhaust. I'll take that panel off here in a minute and show you what that looks like inside. Okay, here I've got the cover removed. You can see I've got the exhaust wrapped in fiberglass, and then that runs through one of these like a boat exhaust port. They sell them on Amazon, but it helps to reduce any heat transfer between the exhaust and the actual plastic case. This case came with the foam already in it. I just bought it from somebody off from like Facebook or whatever. But I kept it because it helps to reduce any of the noise. But I had to make this case here, so I ended up getting some flat aluminum. This is probably like, I don't know, 14 gauge aluminum or something like that. I bought a bender from Harbor Freight and just bent up this case into this shape. And then I put in a baffle here, and I put in this side baffle here, and I just used like riv nuts to put it together. And then down in this area here, I have a AC to DC converter. And so that's gonna take your normal AC input and then output 12 volts. You don't have to use this. This is only used when you want to use AC. This switch right here will turn it on. This switch turns the 12 volts on as far as the output goes, and then this switch will turn the fans on and off. So the unit will not turn on, even if you have 12 volts plugged in at the 12 volt inlet, the unit will not turn on until you actually turn this switch on. And the fans will turn on only when you need them. If it's super cold outside, you don't need the fans on, and you could just leave it. Next, I'm gonna fire it up and we'll take a look at it running. All right, I have the unit starting to run now. I put a fuel shutoff in here just to keep the fuel from siphoning. So we can see now it's starting to heat up. You can hear the exhaust running. Here's my control cable. There's a fan inside of there. We're starting to get some air coming out. There, I got the air filter on. We'll let it heat up. While I'm waiting for this to heat up, this is my power situation right now. So I have two Blue Eddy power stations. I'm using the 12 volt DC output of one running through my case here, and then I'm going in and powering the whole device right now. It's really starting to take off now at the exhaust. Looks like the exhaust has started to clean up now. You can hear the pump running. It's got a decent noise to it. When you shut the case though, it gets much quieter and you only really hear the rumble of the exhaust at that point. I do not have a muffler on this right now either. That's something that I could definitely add on. Maybe I'll grab one of those here in a little bit and show you what that sounds like. Alright, so that's with the muffler on, much quieter. I'll take that muffler off. You can hear it's much louder. Alright, looks like we're up to operating temperature now. Close the case. Now you really don't hear that pump at all. You can hear the air coming out. The exhaust is pretty quiet. It's getting nice and warm. I also put a screen on the inside of the air intake so that like bugs and debris can't get in there. I did the same thing on the fans as well. Keep stuff out of there. the same thing on this fan right here. I did not put a screen on the air intake side because I was going to put an intake filter on that anyways. So at this point, we're fully up and running. I don't have any AC power hooked up. You could take this wherever you want as long as you have a vehicle or you got some solar. For the warm air exhaust, I ended up getting this baffle system, so that way you can dial the heat down. You can turn the pump down only so much, which controls the heat of the diesel exhaust heater. But it's going to come with this pipe. I got this from the hardware store. This came from Amazon, and I'll put that together and show you what that looks like.